Good morning, everyone, and a warm word of welcome to today's micro webinar about time-saving tips and tricks in Microsoft Outlook and in Microsoft General in Windows. And without further ado, I'm going to disappear off the screen, and I'm handing over to Duncan to share his wisdom and insight with you.
Hi everyone, I just want to check. Welcome to today's session where we're going to be looking at some tips and tricks. If you can just confirm, Cosette, since I see you're the last person who wrote in the chat there, if you can just confirm that you can see my my screen. Okay. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to look at some general useful keyboard shortcuts as well as things within the Outlook environment. And the first thing I want to do is I just want to introduce you to the Windows key. Now, if you look on your keyboard, mine generally sits next to my space bar. You'll see there's a little Windows icon, 4 little square with 4 little squares in it, or yours could be round with 4 little squares in it. To activate your Windows key, and from there, you can do a whole bunch of things. For example, if I want to go and look at, let's say, my documents folder or my network drive, all I have to do is go Windows key and E, and that will automatically bring up my File Explorer. Okay, so quite a useful feature. If I want to bring up another one, I can just go Windows key and E again, and you see it brings up another one. So now I've got 2 of these little things open like that. Now, quite useful. Often, and I don't know if this happened to you, you're busy working and you need to put 2 windows side by side, because what you want to do is you want to copy stuff from one location to the other or move folders around on your computer, or even having 2 Word documents open next to each other if you need to compare things. So what I've seen people do is they'll open 2 of these things and then they'll take the mouse and they'll drag the one over there and drag the other one over there. Okay, then they're a bit OCD, so they spend the next 5 minutes trying to get it perfect in the middle before they can continue. Okay, so using the Windows key again. So what I want to do is I want to take this one and I want to move this to the left side of my screen. So what I do is I use the Windows key and then those little arrow buttons I have in the bottom right-hand corner of my keyboard. So Windows key, right arrow button will move it perfectly to the right-hand side. Then what it's going to do is going to show me, okay, I've moved this to the in my case, to the left-hand side of my screen. What would you like on the right-hand side? So it's going to give me all the other windows that are currently open on my computer. And I can then choose which one I want. So I can then just go and select File Explorer over there. And you see, it will then take those 2 windows and put them perfectly side by side. And from here, you can then move things around. So much easier to do. If I want to go back to my desktop, again, I use the Windows key, and this is very useful if you've got hundreds of subfolders open on your computer. Instead of grabbing them, going minimize, 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 all you do is use the Windows key and D for desktop, and it'll take you straight to your desktop. And you can then go and select the item that you want. So that's quite a nice one as well. And that's Windows key and D. Now, where this also comes in handy in terms of the Windows key is we move things on the left-hand side of the screen, and you can do it on the right-hand. You can also go Windows key and E to open Explorer, as we showed you, and Windows key and D to minimize it. Now, what if I've got a whole bunch of windows open? So let's say I've got that open there, I have that open, and I have a Word document open like this. And I want to focus just on the Word documents. I don't want all this other stuff distracting me. So I want to minimize everything except the document or the item that I want to focus on. So then I want to introduce you to another useful feature, and that's called Windows Shake. So all I do is I take the one that I want to focus on, I shake it left and right, and Outlook will minimize all the other windows except the one that you've been shaking. And if I want it all back again, I can just take it, shake it, and everything comes back. Okay, if you like that one, you can just put a thumbs up in the chat or a general thumbs up on the emojis.
Just a comment, Lydia, thanks. Lydia is raising a hand. If you look at your screen at the bottom, you'll see there's a hand raise, And then there's the emoji icon, and then there's the @sign. So just to let us know, you can go emojis. At the bottom of your screen, you should also see a whole bunch of emojis. You can just click on one of them. So thanks, Lydia, for raising your hand. I take that as a thumbs up. Thanks.
Perfect. So those are just some stuff in Windows. We'll do a few other Windows ones as well towards the end, but let's just focus on Outlook quickly. Now, one of the key things that I find in Outlook is whenever I want to move from one application to the other, I need to take my mouse and I need to go and click on these little icons at the bottom here. A quicker way to navigate through Outlook is to use the keyboard shortcuts. Now, these are very easy to remember. If you look at those little icons, icon number 1, which is the mail icon, then number 2 is calendar, 3 contacts, 4 tasks, and 5 notes. And again, if you've never used notes, notes is a fantastic place for you to store reference information. So all you do is you go control and the number that the icon represents at the bottom there. So if I want to go to, let's say, my calendar or my tasks, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, I just go control 4 and it will take me straight to my tasks. If I want to go back to mail, I go control 1 and it'll take me straight back to mail. So control and the number that the icon represents. Now let's say, for example, I'm in my calendar, control 2, and I now want to go back and I want to create a new email. Now most of you will probably now go control 1 because that's a new one that you've learned, and then you'll click your mouse and you'll click new in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Now you can create anything from anywhere by using keyboard shortcuts. So all we do here is we go control, same as the first one, but this time we're going to add a shift, and a shift tells Outlook you want to create something new. So if I want to create a new mail, I go control, shift, and the first letter of what I want. So if I want a new message or mail, I go control, shift, M, and you see it creates a new email directly from calendar. So I don't have to be in my mail to do it. Okay, you can push escape to close that one. If I want to create a new appointment, control, shift, A will create an appointment. Contact, control, shift, C creates a new contact. If I want to create a new task, now this is the only one that doesn't follow the rule. So new task is not the first letter, but the last letter. So control, shift, K will create a new task. And escape to close it and back to the normal, control, shift, N for a new note. Okay, now notes, again, if you've never used them, perfect place to store reference information that you like to refer to on a regular basis.
Just on the notes, I'd just like to chip in there. About the notes function, just please add just type yes or no in the chat. Are you currently using the notes function in Outlook? We're not talking about OneNote, but we just want to know the notes function. Just type yes or a no. Okay, for those of you, yes, I'm sure that you like it. For those of you not using it, give it a shot. I like in winter, I like making soup. So I've got a whole bunch of soup recipes on my notes, or banking information, or the car details, or passport numbers. All that kind of stuff can go to a note.
Fantastic place to store reference information. Even recipes. Great place to store recipes. The beauty about notes is because it's synchronized with your mobile device, when you're walking through the store, you can go to that recipe you want, and there's a list of everything you need to buy as well as how to make it. Okay, and then the last one, this is quite a nice one. Let's say I'm working in Outlook and I want to create a new Word document or a new Excel spreadsheet. Control, Shift, and H for Office Home will bring that up, and from there you can open up any new Office document. Okay, and that's Control, Shift, and H. Okay, so now we can move between the different modules in Outlook. We can move things around our screen using the Windows key. Let's look at what else we can do. Okay, so I'm going to create a new mail. And here's another useful feature as well using the Windows key. So I'm busy working and I want to use an emoji. Now, all of you are very familiar with emojis. So all we're going to do is we're going to take that and we're going to use the Windows key and then full stop. So Windows key full stop brings up your emojis, and that's what that looks like. And from here, you can choose whichever one you want. Now, another benefit of using the Windows key and full stop is not just for the emojis, but also for this feature here called symbols. So if I click on symbol, there's all the different symbols that I have access to. So if you ever wondered, how do you do an E with a copy key or a streepie or something like that, you can get that directly from the symbols. There's also trademark, there's quarters, halves, all of that from symbols, which is very, very useful. I remember in the past you had to remember the alt codes in order to get these items. Now it's so much easier just by going Windows key and E. Okay, so that's a very useful feature as well. Then in the calendar, now here's a very useful tip. Say someone calls you and says, listen, Duncan, I'd like to have a meeting with you. Can we have one on the 25th, the 27th, the 2nd, or the 10th of next month? Which day will suit you? So now you've got all these different days that you need to go to and see which time on which day would suit you the best. So all you have to do now is from your calendar window, okay, all I do is I put my finger on the control key, and I can then go and cherry pick the days that I want on the side here. And you'll see Outlook will then put those non-consecutive days together in one window for you. Okay, so I can select my day view. I can put my finger on the control key, select the ones that I want, and you'll see there they are. I've got 19, 25, 27, 2, and 10 of next month, which makes it so much easier. And if you do want to move stuff around in Outlook, let's say, for example, I have a meeting there or an appointment, and I want to take that and I want to, let's say, change it to the 25th. Very easy. I can take it, and then from here I can just drag it to the 25th over there. But what if I want to create a copy of that item? Now, what a lot of people do is they right-click copy and then right-click paste, or Control-C and then Control-V. In Outlook or anywhere in Windows, all you have to do is put your finger on the Control key and just drag the item you want, and you see Outlook automatically creates a copy. So Control drag creates a copy like that. Okay. Now, what if I'm still in my calendar and I want to change that to, let's say, the 28th of February. Okay, so because the 28th of February is quite far away, most people double click to open that up, and then they'll go and change the 28th to the 28th of February over here. Now, if you look at your calendar on the left-hand side here, this is a live calendar. So all I have to do is take it from here, and I can drag it onto the 28th. And when I let go, it jumps to the 28th, and it keeps the same time as the original appointment. And I can then say maybe change that to 9 o'clock and drag it up there. And then to go back to today's date, all you have to click is this button on top here that says today, and then take you straight back to today's date. So that's a few nice tips and tricks in the calendar, and hopefully that will save you some time. Let's go and look at one more. Right, so what I'm going to do is, let's say, for example, I need to copy and paste a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm going to create you an email, and just to show you how this works, I'm going to put a whole bunch of numbers in there, and let's put a whole bunch of letters in there. Now, if I want to take that and copy it somewhere else, I'll go Control-C, go to where I want, let's say there, and I'll go Control-V. And then if I want this one here, do the same thing, Control-C, go to where I want, and then go Control-V. Now, if I want the letters again, I'll have to go back and recopy those and paste them where I want. Now, there's a very nice feature called Windows Clipboard, and this will remember everything that you've copied during the course of the day. All you have to do is copy what you want. So you can go copy, 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 all the different things, and then just go Windows key and V. And what that does, it brings up your clipboard, and there, as you see, there's all the things that I've copied during the course of the day or during the course of the morning over there. I can select what I want. In this case, let's say, for example, I want that. That's my presenter link over there, and it will then go and insert it wherever I want. So it keeps a record of everything you've copied, and you can then go and paste it wherever you want without having to recopy the same stuff over and over. Okay, so I hope you found these little tips and tricks useful. I know it was quite quick. You can always go back and watch the recording. And then what I also want to mention, if you are interested, I just showed you a couple of tips and tricks over here. I've got a very nice video or course that I've created that's got 52 tips and tricks in Windows and Outlook, where we discuss a lot more of the other very useful tips and tricks that will help you save you time. And if you're interested in that, Gerrit will put a link on the screen.
Yeah, I have put it on the screen, and so you can just click over there on more info, and you'll get to our webpage where you can read more about it. And if you want to purchase it, you can just do that straight away. And you see the pricing on there. It's $4.97 for 52 tips, and you get all of them at the same time. So you just click on more info, and you should go to that webpage. Something else that I would like to share with you, if you go to your handouts tab on the right hand side in the chat column, you have handouts. Click on handouts, and you should be able to now either preview or download one of the handouts that we have for you today, and it's called Useful Shortcuts. So much of the stuff that Duncan has discussed with you today, you will find on Useful Shortcuts. And more than welcome, Duncan is going to put his telephone number in the chat for you now. And so you are more than welcome to get hold of Duncan. Give him a call if you want to chat to him, or also you can send him an email. He's going to pop his email address in there as well. So more than welcome. Have a look at what Duncan mentioned about the course that he created, and you will see at the top of the chat it says current offer. You can just click there on more info, and you can get the details. Okay, we are at the end of our 17-minute micro webinar. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. And I would like to know, before we go, what was the one thing that you are taking away from today? What had the most value for you? Just one or two words in the chat, please. Not in the Q&A. Click on the chat tab, and just let us know. Click in the chat, and what did you find most valuable today? What's your big takeaway? And then here's a recommendation. Go and teach that to somebody else, your next door neighbor, or somebody that you can quickly call online, next door neighbors, and just share this with them. So I'm very curious to know in the chat. Just let us know, please, what you are taking away from today, what the most useful was. Ian says the tips that were new to me. Brilliant, thank you. Yeah, Ian, we like making you happy. The many uses of the Windows key. Yeah, the Windows key is really, it's there for a reason. And I just recently started discovering all the good stuff for the Windows key. Calendar, great stuff. Thank you for that. All the refresher tips. Yeah, I think just to mention the Windows key again, and you saw the shortcuts, but the rest were great, especially the Windows key. Just need to do more often, Rochelle. That is so true, everything that you say. And thank you for using the word refresh, because these little webinars, as you know, we run them every Wednesday from 11:07 to 11:24, and it's just refreshers. It's not a huge, big course, but I really appreciate the fact that you chose to be with us today rather than being anywhere else in the world. So I hope you have fun. Thank you, Lydia. The entire session was valuable. Wow, good stuff. Hope you enjoyed it. Yes, Cosette, share with my husband. He's stuck in old ways, and this will make his life much faster. Yeah, that's the one thing, by the way, that we get all the time from people who have done our Outlook productivity course and implement the system. It will make my life so much easier. If you're watching the replay, thanks for watching. I'm going to stop the recording right now. So thank you, everyone, for being with us today. I'm glad to see that you have found value. And we will send out the invitation for next week's workshops again. And in the meantime, have fun and enjoy